In today's video, I'm reviewing a 2001 Ford F-150 pickup. This is the 10th generation model of the popular F-Series pickup that was produced from 1997 to 2003. With the introduction of this 10th generation model, Ford split the F-150 lineup from the F-250 and 350, giving the F-150 more of a contemporary look, whereas the F-250 and 350 have more of a work truck look. On the styling front, the 10th generation model of the F-150 is really a departure from F-Series pickups going back into the past and forward into the present. It's got a much more curvy design, whereas F-Series pickups traditionally are much more boxy. My best guess for this differentiation is that when Ford came out with the 10th generation model, they really wanted the F-150 to stand out from its F-250 and F-350 counterparts, giving this truck a much more contemporary look. But then they found that buyers actually wanted even their half-ton pickups to look a little bit more truck-like. And so they changed that going forward into the next generation model and found kind of a happy medium where it had a little bit more contemporary look, but still looked a little more rugged, whereas this looks much more contemporary. Ford also introduced the Expedition model at the same time as this 10th generation model. Expedition is a 3-row SUV and has very similar styling to the F-150 and is obviously based on the same platform. So it's got the same powertrain and much of the same styling cues. Front grille, for example, is identical, and the overall body shape is very similar as well. It is worth noting a few changes on this truck from stock configuration. It's got a few aftermarket parts, different set of wheels, running boards, and then the diamond plating here on the bed sides and the tailgate. Beyond that, the truck is essentially stock on the exterior. And overall, the F-150 has a very clean, conservative, simple look to it. Also worth noting that Ford, partnering with Lincoln, did have the Lincoln Blackwood model based off this model, the F-150, for one model year. Due to extremely low sales volumes, they discontinued that truck after 1 year. Had slightly different styling cues to give it that Lincoln look, but essentially it was the same truck, and just really didn't have much of a advantage over the F-150 in terms of luxury features or options, and buyers preferred to go with the cleaner look of the F-150. The F-150 is available in a number of different trim configurations. They've got the XL, XLT, FX4, STX, Lariat, Harley Davidson, and King Ranch packages. You'll see this is the mid-level XLT. The F-150 is also available in rear-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. And in terms of cab configurations, you can get a regular cab. This is the Super Cab or extended cab. And then they also offered a crew cab model called the Super Crew. And the Super Crew was the first half-ton pickup available with a crew cab, since becoming very standard practice in the full-size truck industry. The interior of the F-150 is pretty basic and down to earth. Not a lot of extra features or fluff here, but it's got a pretty clean overall design. You'll see that this model does have the front bench seat, giving you seating for up to 6. You do have to note that the seats are not especially comfortable within the segment. In terms of features, it's got your basics: power windows, door locks and mirrors, cruise control buttons on the steering wheel, overdrive. This model has an aftermarket stereo. Got heat and air conditioning. On the floor we have control for the four-wheel drive system. Transfer case does include a 4-low and 4-high option, so that's a nice feature to have. Center console has 2 cup holders, pretty generous cargo capacity inside. Up top we have a couple compartments. This one for sunglasses. LCD screen that gives you some vehicle information like fuel economy. Manual rear dimming mirror. One thing you are going to note with the F-150 is that from a mechanical standpoint, they do tend to hold up really well with age. But one downside is that they use a lot of cheaper materials, and the interiors don't hold up quite as well. Definitely start to show their age. can see the wear on the steering wheel, some of the plastics pulling out. We've got some cup holders here that don't work anymore, so it's just one of the downsides. You've got some chipping there. Forgot to mention we've got a couple outlets here. But definitely one downside with Fords is that they don't use the highest quality materials on the interior, so those do wear out. Although from a mechanical standpoint, I feel like they are pretty reliable. Got the suicide doors here, new feature for the 10th generation model. These doors do open on both the driver and passenger side, providing better access to the rear seating area. You'll see that with the Super Cab, legroom is going to be pretty limited. So the Super Crew comes in as a nice option, although the Super Crew has a much smaller bed than what you get with this model. So that's one downside. These seats do fold up, allowing you to get larger items in when those seats aren't in use. Got that 60-40 split. So overall, pretty basic interior. Nothing to really complain about, but it's not quite as luxurious and modern as what you get from some of the competition from this era. The F-150 was available with 3 different engine options for this era: a 4.2 liter 6-cylinder with an automatic or manual transmission, a 4.6 liter 8-cylinder with an automatic or manual transmission, or this 5.4 liter 8-cylinder, which is the most popular engine offering for the era. It's got 260 horsepower, available only with the 4-speed automatic transmission, has a tow capacity of 8,000 pounds, but a pretty dismal EPA rating of 12 miles per gallon in the city and 16 miles per gallon on the highway. So comparing the F-150 to the competition from GM and Dodge, there's no denying that those vehicles have nicer cabins than the F-150. They've got a lot more features, better level of refinement, cleaner overall designs. And then in terms of ride quality, those vehicles are also much better. They've got smoother rides, they're quieter, they're more comfortable. The Ford is very basic and down to earth, and I think that's actually what people like about it. It's the fact that it's just got more of a truck-like feel to it. It's got a great powertrain with a nice meaty sound to it. You sit up really high in the vehicle, so you've got really good visibility and a really nice posture looking out over the road. And beyond that, it doesn't compete at all, but it's a truck again, so people don't care about loose steering feel, about bouncy ride quality, a lot of road noise coming into the cabin, wind noise coming into the cabin. People are willing to overlook that because it's a truck. They like the fact that it's got that very basic nature to it. So that's a review of the 2001 Ford F-150. Overall, very solid truck from Ford. It's got a lot of really good characteristics, but if I'm gonna be completely honest, if I was buying a full-size truck from this era, I'd go with the competition from GM or Dodge. I think they've got a much nicer level of refinement, many more luxury features, and really in comparison, the F-150 just feels a little bit dated. However, you look at the sales volumes from Ford and it tells a different story. Most Americans choose to get the F-150 year after year. It's been the best-selling truck on the market for decades. And so just really depends on your personal preferences. Definitely would recommend that if you're looking to get into the F-150 though, that you compare it with that competition from Dodge and GM. If you have any comments or questions on the F-150, leave them in the section below. For more car and truck reviews, subscribe to my channel. In the meantime, thanks for watching.